Hello, welcome to Tools of Fortune. Sorry I came on late. I had a migraine today or carryover from yesterday. So we'll see how this works. I hope this stream is clear. It looks like it might be. Anyways, I didn't have a reading last night because I did have the headache portion of the migraine. Not that you care. So we will be coming on Tuesday through Saturday around midnight. This is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, I'm supposed to say that. So the theme that came up was ancestors. And I wanted to read the cards on how do ancestors express themselves through us. This is not necessarily a reading. I'm not necessarily a medium. I have, though, on occasion have had experiences with ghosts. Usually people that I had known personally. They just sort of pop in and then they're gone when the funeral, then you don't necessarily feel them anymore. I don't know that I could read, but what the intent of this one and thinking about ancestors, I was thinking in terms of, I wanted to start with thinking in terms of, oh, my cards fell down. How, that's weird. How, that means I'm distracted. That means I'm distracted, which means it may be, this may not be a good night to come on. But we will give it the best shot. We'll go by faith that Spirit will speak through us, and regardless of what one's physical condition is. Okay, how do our ancestors express through us? How do they express themselves through us? Let's just see what the tarot has to say about that. How do our ancestors express themselves through us? I'll just do 3 cards. Okay, this is interesting. We'll just do 3 cards this time. Through willful direction. Whether we can hear it or not. Maybe societal norms say that they shouldn't express themselves to us, but they do. Breaking rules and traditions, and helping us to have greater empathy towards others. One of the things that, in just a real, very physical sense of talking about how ancestors express themselves through us. On my father's line, both of his parents came from Sweden. His mom was an immigrant from Sweden, and his dad was a first generation American, and his people, his father's fathers, were all blacksmiths going back to the 10th century in Sweden. And I had this experience. I've had this experience a few times in my life, but was always a very profound experience. It's a very profound experience. Usually when it involved work. Like this one time, the first time that I had this a temp job at a machine shop. And I looked at my hands. They were all grimy with grease. And I didn't see my hands. I saw my ancestors' hands. I saw my dad's hands. I saw what I imagined to be my grandfather's hands or his grandfather's hands. Hands that were weathered and beaten by soot and hard work. Now my hands are soft now. Welcome. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Carrie Ann, welcome. And I looked at my hands and I saw my ancestors in my hands. I saw them in my hands. After my father had passed away, there was another incident where my hands were grimy with grease and dirt from work. I looked at my hands and I saw my dad's hands in me. Another experience I had with ancestors was the one that kicked off my journey into tarot. And I was sick with COVID at that time. My mother was in intensive care with COVID, and I was calling my my aunt, who's my dad's sister. And I don't know how the conversation got there. We're not doing paintings tonight. I'm doing live readings. I did a live painting on 999 show earlier today, though that was pixelated, but I was talking with my aunt, and I don't know how the conversation got there, but she said that her grandmother was a fortune teller, that she read tea leaves and cups, and I believe that she read tarot too. I thought she said she read the tarot. And so that was this okay. So it was like in that moment, my great-grandmother spoke to me and says, yes, it is okay for you to learn the tarot. So that was a ancestor that was speaking to me about something that I needed to do. And that's what kicked off my journey into tarot. If somebody has a let's see, I have some, since in this moment yes, I have things that I have. My other channel is called 999 Show. I do talk and paintings, and so this is like one of my paint birds that I painted. These are some of these are kind of watercolors. I can go show this stuff off. Watercolor practices. Here's actually a pretty nice one. That might be kind of like the bird you were thinking about. I painted this in the winter time. These are just practice paintings. And what else is in here? There's another one here. Another bird. My very first watercolor painting is this one. I just picked up watercolor in January. And here's another bird that I painted as well. What else is in here? There's a lot of crap in here. Some of this stuff is just practice. Maybe there's Gumby sitting in a swing. And there's some tarot worlds and stuff like that. So, yeah. But that's and welcome, Harry Ann. Welcome. Those are just some doodles. Some other paintings are this one here, April. I did this in April. That's but like I say, this channel is not about, that's a practice painting. It's not about painting, it's about reading, doing divination and so forth. If nobody has any questions, we can go and talk a little bit more, but we can actually just do some, what I'll do, okay, how about we do this? I'll pull out my other tarot deck, and we will just do some tarot stories. And this title is called The Real Life Tarot. It is a tarot deck that was created by a magician, you know, like a card trick type magician, a person, an illusionist type magician. And I think that it's supposed to give you, you can take it either way. You can do serious readings with it, or you can do humorous readings with it. You can apply your skills as a storyteller and use the cards as prompts to build a story. And so let's just do a little bit of that right now, since nobody has a question. Maybe somebody will have a question soon. Carrie Ann might have a question, but she may just want to sit back. And I'll go back to my ancestor. So let's just ask this. How do our ancestors express themselves through us? How do the ancestors express themselves through us? How do our ancestors express themselves through us? How do the ancestors express themselves through us? If you're just hanging out here and want to ask the Real Life Tarot a question for a non-serious answer, we can do that. How do the ancestors express themselves through us? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh, okay. What we got here is like meat hanging on a hook. But this ain't any meat. This is prime rib. The ancestors give the best part of themselves to you. In the beginning, when your parents created you, they have been just created for a short time, parents. But the people who created you, and the people who created them, what was passed to you was prime rib. Prime rib. Only the best intentions went into your creation. But it wasn't like a return receipt, you know. After a while, hello, Stoic. After a while, you were born, and you started crying, you had colic, and you kept them up late at night, all night long for the first 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Well, then you started to get a little bit old, and that prime rib started seeming like old chuck steak hanging up in the meat locker. And somebody got the bright idea to return you to the store. Yes, they wanted to return you to the store. They wanted to go back to their life with their cats. Because, you know, the cats were simpler. You just feed them, change their litter box, then they just sort of mill around. Sometimes they scratch up the furniture, sometimes they piss on everything. But their life was simpler when it was just cats and not just you crying up a storm. And then, with all that sleepless nights, your folks turned into trolls. Yeah, I don't know. That's not a good question to ask. And then, like a game controller, like somebody controlling the games, they got through the hard parts. They surrendered to this situation, and they passed through the hard parts, and now you're all grown up. So how did the ancestors express themselves through you? Like prime rib, baby, prime rib. Okay. I'm not gonna... You need to know your dog ate your treats. So this is like random as F, yeah? Yeah. Wow, we got some people in here. Would it, all right, well, these cards are... This is called the Real Life Tarot. It's actually a joke tarot deck. And it is great. It is a great tarot deck to teach you how to read, as far as like looking at the picture on the card and forming a picture, forming a story. And so one of the aspects, the hard part about tarot is card combinations and trying to memorize all the cards and apply the information that exists on the cards to your question. That's actually the hard part. But what this tarot deck teaches you how to do is to ignore the words and just to look at the picture and to see, once you've internalized what these pictures kind of mean, then you take the pictures and you apply them to the questions. So you want to meet yourself from your perspective. Sherry Wills, I remember you from Cash or Crash. I keep wanting to go watch one of his live streams, but I've been kind of busy. I remember I remember one of those Cash and Crash. Several of them. I used to watch them several years ago. I watched them a lot. in the first part of the pandemic, and he's a funny guy, and he was like filming. I think because I like watching, slots. I like watching people play slots. It's cheaper to watch people play slots than it is to actually go play slots. And also, it's like when you're jonesing to go play slot machines, you just go watch somebody play slots, and then you realize you don't really need to go out and spend your money in a casino. So he beat cancer, yeah. And I will get to Random's question here in just a second, and I want to, but as far as like Sherry Willis was talking about, and then, but I remember him talking about he was filming his gameplay, and he had his phone right in his pocket, and guys, I think he didn't have permission to film in that casino, so he was filming in the casino. He was live streaming in that casino with that his cell phone in his pocket. Then another time he was like, doing a drive around Las Vegas or wherever he was at nighttime, and then it reminded me so much of that movie, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. You remember that movie, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, and where they're in Wichita, Kansas, and the taxi driver in the middle of the night drives the longest way around to go to the hotel, and with the thought, well, I thought maybe you'd like to have a tour of the city, and that's kind of what, yeah, booted out of there, yeah, and that's that, yeah, John Candy, exactly, and so that one those times that I've watched, I can't remember his name, I don't know, but the Casher Crash guy, when he's done those tours, and he's done them at nighttime, like when he got off of work or something like that, it just reminded me of that movie. Anyways, I want to go, and there's so oh okay, let's see if we have a question. I know there was a question back here. So you want to random as fuck wants to meet himself from a different perspective. I'm gonna ask the real life tarot that question, because we can do that. I am recovering from a migraine, and so I'm hoping that I can connect, but I know that I can connect up to this tarot deck right now, and so I want to see, and so I'm going to clear the air, and we're going to write that question down. Okay. All right. Let's go with I don't know if random is still here, but we're going to ask the real life tarot. Want to meet myself. It was well, I'm at migraines usually last me about 3 days, and so I'm in the second day of it, and I want to meet myself from my perspective. That's actually quite an interesting question. So since he's not here anymore, I'm just going to read it from the energy of the question. If he is still here, if Random is AF is still here, I will I'll read it from him. But if he's not still here, oh, okay. So if he's not still here, I'm just going to read the energy of the question because this is a great question. And I want to see what the real life tarot has to say about that. Okay, let's just do that. And then, okay, we'll see. Because the real life tarot, though it is a joke tarot deck, people can, it can, it does give, well, any deck of cards can be used to divine with, like this, my stack of losing scratch tickets. Those I can divine with those things. And so, oh yeah, it's peppermint tea has given me acid reflux in the past, but I'm growing peppermint in the backyard, or actually mint. I don't know. It might be just mint. But let's just ask a question here, not be distracted. I'm going to see what the real life tarot says, and then we'll move over to, yeah. Okay, I want to meet myself from my perspective. I want to meet myself from my perspective. Randomness. What is random? Okay. Let's give it another shuffle here. I'm going to move this one here. Well, my mother's 85. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and take 1 off the bottom, 5. So let's see what the real life tarot has to say. Let's see about meeting yourself from your perspective. Moving back in. Mind virus. The landlord. A stinking pile of trash. And boxes at the front door. Welcome, Rod. Welcome. Okay, I'll get to your question here. So I've been interpreting this card as like a mind virus, and then we have the landlord that's like a devil. So from your perspective, the desire to move back into a safe place. You've been infected by a mind virus. The landlord speaks in a low hush, like ha ha ha, kind of a thought. You want you to pay that rent, take out the trash, and move all those boxes out the front door. So you got new boxes coming in. That's interesting. You can look at it as you got a virus in your mind that's controlling you, giving you devilish thoughts, a stinking pile of trash that you got to throw out. before you can move back in to your house. Goodies, new things that will make your life better. And when we talk about moving back in, this is not necessarily moving back into your parents' house. It may be moving back in to your wife's house, your spouse's house. Okay, I don't know if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense? But let's just take this question and give it a okay, what I'm gonna ask the actual tarot of this, of what I want to meet myself from my own perspective, and let's get like 3 cards. Ah. 3 cards. What do I look like? What do I look like? If I were to look at myself in the mirror, what would I see? If I were to look at myself in the mirror, what would I see? Okay, here's the first card, 2 and 3. Okay. I would see somebody who is in a state of transformation, a person who works hard, crafting things, and a person who works hard and sticking to a plan and going forward. That's what I see here. Transformation, letting go of things that no longer serve you, being a continual state of being born again, because that's what this card is. It's a continual state of sinning and asking for forgiveness, going through those gates into a new life, working hard, working within a team, and then taking this knowledge and moving it forward to the next step, And what is the next step? The next step is moving further and accelerating towards your goal. That's what the next step is. And so what picture is this? You look in the mirror and you see a person who is driven to complete a goal. That's what these cards say to me about I want to meet myself from my perspective as being a person driven. Okay, let's go to the next person. And is it Angie? Are you the next? Who else asked questions here? Oh. So my mom is 8. She's 8. She was still asleep at midnight, so I couldn't come on when I needed to come on. And this is what 7:24. Okay, and then we go to the. I'm just dropping my cards all over the place. My sleeve is catching on my cards. I'm going to put my real life tarot deck away. And so is Angie the next person? What'd you do with the dog? Well, I suppose what you do with the dogs is you're just kind of, I know you're trolling me, but that's okay. You're distracting me, buddy. Yes, Angie's the next person. So list 231 Uh, I'll respond to your question here. But here's how I'm going to respond to your question. Um, this was supposed to start on 7/24, so that's what we're looking at. Number 2 is that your question with your dog and all that. It reminds me of a story that I heard. I probably heard it on YouTube. I mean, where else would I have heard it? Anyways, where a guy is in the lunchroom and his pet had passed on and he was lamenting about it. But then at lunchtime, somebody asked him what he was eating, and then he responded, the remains of yesterday's, because in his grief, he meant to say he was eating leftovers, but he said the remains from yesterday, and which completely disturbed this coworker. And so the coworker goes to HR and complains that so and so is eating his dead pet. And so he gets called called on the carpet to answer for his crimes for offending one of his coworkers. But then he explains it, and then it's like, well, it was like a big nothing, but yeah. You're right, and that's what So what is Angie's question? What is Angie's question? I don't know if I don't think I can answer that question because it's like I'm not that kind of a. I can talk about things for right now, but I don't know that I can answer the question of how many past lives you've had. But if you would want to ask the question of how have your ancestors influenced you in this life, is that a question you wanted to ask? Mm-hmm. So So you want to ask me how many past lives you've had and see if I will ask. Myself, I don't really want to know. Don't want to know any of that information. Me, I don't know how. We'll clear the air here. How many times has Angie been here? How many times? At least 10 times. How many times has Angie been here? Let's just see something here, Angie. I'm going to ask. What card best represents Angie her last time here? What card best represents Angie her last time here? What card best represents Angie her last time here? Angie, I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to ask you to tell me to stop shuffling. When you feel it's time for me to stop shuffling, I want you to tell me to say stop. So Angie, when you can tell me when you think I should stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling, Angie. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay. So, this is a state of being. A person who was of a sunny disposition, but maybe slightly on the downside, maybe cloudy, a little bit depressed. A person who was clever. So in a sense, you may be a female. But let's just see if one more card pops up and it's a female. No, it's all over the board here. As far let's ask it. So we're looking at a planner, a person who was an independent thinker, but was mildly depressed. That's just kind of what. But there's no way to guarantee if this is true. This might be true of absolutely everybody. So I don't know. Let's see what the number is. 16, no. 19, 20, 21. 21 plus 12. 33. Maybe you've been here 33 times. Okay, so let's go. Let's just try that. I don't know if that probably doesn't really help anything at all. So let's ask. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to do a 3-card yes/no question about was Angie a male or female the last time? Was Angie a male or a female the last time? Was Angie a male or a female the last time? So, if Angie is a male, all the cards are upright, and all the cards, well, yes. And all count downright is female. Just like a yes/no. That's 1, 2, 3. So it looks like maybe you were a man the last time. But who knows? Yes, no. For a brief moment, I kind of was feeling it, but $10, $20, $23. $33 the last time, $23 this time. But this actually shows that you're a female. You were the female the last time. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I can actually. I'm sorry. I don't think that I can answer this question. I apologize. I apologize. I don't think I can answer this question. I think that you would probably be best served to go to a different type of a medium. I'm gonna give you a recommendation. Tropical Spirit. Tropical Empress Spirit is a medium who actively talks to spirits, and she may be able to answer your question, Angie, if you really, really want to know how many past lives you've had, because Tropical Empress Spirit is, but she'll charge you like $20 for the question. Okay. All right. Is it? Oh, well, for Angie, for the numbers, it's because like some people do astrology. I don't actually do astrology. Before I started studying tarot, I was studying numerology. And so I look at the numbers and I look at them as energy states. And so, for instance, when I start getting like a theme for how I wanted to do my live for tonight, I did this actually 2 nights ago. I started out by spinning this top, which goes up to 15. This book goes up to 1,500 pages, and I get a page number. And so, for instance, the page number that I came up with for how do our ancestors express themselves in our lives came from this page. Joseph, be our guide. And Saint Joseph And so I was just thinking, in a very, good Catholic sort of way about how our ancestors are there for us. They're the saints that have gone on before, that they're there to pray for us and to help us to live our life. That's according to Catholic, um, the Catholic teaching, not really main, it's not core teaching, but so I don't know where I was going with that, but I was going with the numbers. And so I take that number and then I reduce it down to a single digit. And that single digit of that number was the number 7. The number 7 in numerology corresponds to the number 9, the 9th card in tarot, which is the same energy about contemplation or being a hermit. But it could also be that same energy as like the hanged man who sees life from a different perspective. And so I take the numbers, I look at those numbers and to get a sense of what the overall energy is of those numbers. And that's what the significance of the numbers are for me. So I look at those numbers in order to kind of further guide. It's just another piece of information. That's all. So like some people, Angie, will some people will go into the cards because they know Jewish mysticism, and they have like they'll do this especially if they're reading the Thoth tarot. But a lot of esoteric readers that are like really heavily steeped in Jewish mysticism will go in and look at the symbols, because a lot of the tarot symbols are right out of Jewish mysticism. And they'll look at those symbols and the symbols on the cards, and they'll use those symbols in order to answer your question. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm a poet writer, and so I look at the words. I look at the energy of the question, and I try to look at that. Look at it that way. So like for instance, you might an advanced tarot reader. An advanced tarot reader can an advanced tarot reader can get just as much information out of, I'll just use this other, they can get just as much information out of an image like this. And you're looking at this and you don't see anything. I look at this and I don't necessarily see anything, but they look at the numbers, they look at the symbols on it, they look at the suit, and they form their answer based upon the information that is present there. From an ordinary set of playing cards, same thing. The Rider-Waite Tarot has pictures on everything. The Tarot de Marseille doesn't have pictures on everything. And so a person relies on numerology more so than anything else. So yeah, so you rely on, so there is, because there are the other methods of reading, like I can never remember that guy's name. go over there and I can pick up his tarot deck. But there's the open. There's multiple different ways to read. And then me myself, I'm kind of reading intuitively to a certain degree. I'm looking at just what the basic feeling is in that moment and giving you an answer. And I may not exactly be giving you answers that are like standard tarot definitions. Does that make any sense? And so I want to go, I hope that okay, I know that I've been talking a lot, so I know that I didn't answer your question, Angie, and I apologize I couldn't answer this question. I did, for a brief moment, I felt a connection to spirit, and the number 10 popped into my head, but that just could have just been me thinking, and I don't know. So I went with the number 10. The tarot didn't really tell me anything. But that's but if you really want to know for certain or to get some more certainty, I would recommend this YouTuber. And there are some other YouTubers that I have in my sub list that I've subscribed to on my other channel that do past life stuff. I don't really do that because biggest reason why when I was like thinking of the question of my ancestors. Anyway, I've explained too much. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question, but let's go on to the next person who has a question. Moses is in the next slide. Okay. All right. So he doesn't. Okay. Is Moise still here? Is Moise? So he wants a general reading then. Is Moise still here? He may not still be here. So he wants to know about his ancestors. Okay. I'm going to just ask. I can't translate that. So do you want to know? Do you want a general reading or a general? Or how has his ancestors shaped his life? Because I saw ancestors in there, and so is this what you want? Okay, China Disco Babe. Okay, I'm gonna read. This is because I saw this in one of his questions, and so I'm gonna read this question on him. I hope that's how has his ancestors shaped his life. We can do this. I'm gonna clear the air. how has his ancestor shaped his life? 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 So I'm going to start with the number. So there's your ancestors, of course, you wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. They gave you life. In your beginning, they gave you life. They gave you their genetic code so that you can live. But they gave you that in love. They gave you that because they love you so much. Your ancestors shaped your life so that you can spend time thinking about those who have came before you, those who have given you knowledge, the knowledge that has been passed down to you through your parents, to your mother and your father, through your grandparents, through your aunts and uncles, through your cousins. But the direct line of ancestors, they gave you knowledge. Knowledge that is trapped in your flesh. When you look at yourself in the mirror, they are looking at you. They love you. They're around you all the time. Rooting for you. Because they love you. They love you so much. They want nothing but the best possible life for you to live. So how have your ancestors shaped your life? They shaped your life first because they gave you their code written in your DNA. They encoded you with them. And then they encoded you with them with their love. And then when you go and learn about them, you go ask people about them, about your ancestors. You go back into time. You look at your genealogy. You can learn everything that there is to learn about your ancestors, the immediate ones, by looking at those records. Seeing what they did and what they didn't do. And those things that they survived, they made you strong. 7. So if we look at this 7. We have the Chariot. They are driving you. Behind the scenes, they are there, driving you forward. 7. They are there. Let's see. That right there. I will get her next. I'm still here with Moses. And then we have the nudie card, which I will hide the nudie parts. Love card. This ethereal spirit. Guiding you in love. And then the other spirit of, that's that. But let's just take a look what words pop out here. They gave you wisdom. They gave you wisdom. And you can call upon them in your time of need. When you are in need, you can call upon your ancestors. They will pray for you. And they will pray for you. And they sowed the seeds for you to be here. So that's what this says here, the sowing of the seeds. Wisdom, wisdom of the owl. And be there in your time of need and be your muse, your inspiration. Your inspiration. So what we have here is the word inspiration, wisdom, and need. So how has your ancestors shaped your life? Like this chariot, moving you forward through time. And you give yourself to others in their time of need. And so let's just look here. How has Moses' ancestors shaped his life? 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 So in other ways, so there are the positive ways and the negative ways. So the negative ways in which that your ancestors have shaped your life is that You have a spirit of not being able to make up your mind. And you're often misunderstood. And you have a spirit of inner conflict within you, a spirit of inner conflict, a spirit of feeling like you're not being understood, and having a difficulty making decisions. But these are all things you can correct. You can make better decisions. You can work together with others. And you can still fight it out. So this is a card about conflict. Hostility, ambition, and conflict, giving you greater ambition. Make better decisions. I don't know if that helps any. I don't know if that helps. It may not help at all. This may not be the best day for me. I apologize. But they did give you wisdom by getting to know who they were. You can learn so much about yourself. So if you're still there, I hope that this helps. Spend a little time in reflection, thinking about who they were in the quiet of your mind. In the quiet of your mind, they may come in and talk to you, providing you have an open heart to hear. Need wisdom, inspiration. And what did these numbers add up to? 2, 4, 9. That's interesting. 9. These numbers added up to 9, which is that of completion, or that of like the Hermit card of contemplation. So the other number you have is that of 9. A perfection. You were made perfect in them. Okay. I will, I don't know if you're still there. I don't know if any of this made any sense. But then I saw that may not have been his question. He may have been seeking a general reading, and I will just start. Before I go on to Chinese Disco Babe, okay. What does Spirit want Moses to know? I'm not going to just leave you hanging there. What does Spirit want Moses to know? What does Spirit want you 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 to know? Make sure you pronounce your name. Oasis. What does Spirit want you to know? Okay, this one, and this one. 3 spirits that she wants you to know. So, what Spirit wants you to know is that there is new opportunities for you. There are new opportunities for you to grab a hold of. But first, you have to heal your broken heart. You have to heal your broken heart. You need to watch out for unrealistic thoughts and ideas. So what's blocking you from gaining new prosperity, what's blocking you is pain. Pain from a wound of your heart and unrealistic thoughts and illusions. That's what's blocking you from gaining what it is that you are seeking. And what does those numbers add up to? 21. It adds up to the number 3. And we're looking at the number 3, which is about creative expression. So we have contemplation, perfection, and creative expression. Together, 10, 19, 1 plus 9 equals 10 equals to 1. So total in your reading, you can, to go forward into a new cycle, into a new beginning, into a new opportunity, you need to break through, do some forgiveness work. You need to do some forgiveness work for whatever it is that is causing you anguish, causing you heartache and pain. You have to work and you have to work through that. And you have to be aware of your delusions, of your pessimism, of feeling just drained out of hope. When you fight through this, you can turn this spirit into this spirit, which is one of hope and optimism. This here into a place of recovery, being recovered from whatever it is that is causing you pain in your heart. You feel more a breath of fresh air in your life, hope and optimism, and you can move forward and grasp those new opportunities. All right, that's what I got for you. I hope that helps. Thank you very much, Stoic, for moderating for me. This one here, I think this one rings better. For Chinese Disco Babe. May your cup fill up with love and hope and inspiration. May it overflow so that those you are trying so hard to sell yourself to will see that they need you at their company. They need you in order to make their environment complete. May this cup of overflow with the hope and inspiration and abundance of material knowledge, material knowing, that will help you to make a living in this world. She seeks the truth. She seeks the truth. She seeks the truth. And let's get to the questions back here. Okay. I want to get an energy on this. It's probably not going to tell us anything, but let's see. I'm going to get a page number. What is the possible? Will Carta bear fruit? But let's take a look at that. The number 4. Stable foundation, but what comes into this is a foundation. Partnership. And completion. So if we were to go looking here, let's go looking. I want to see what this has to say. This is a new tarot deck. Actually, I'm working on the long play video on it. We're just gonna go pull some. I'm just looking at the energy of this. I'm looking at what the energy is that's surrounding this, and to see if there's any clues to it. So 4 being a number of stability, but if we're looking at a regular 4, looking at, we're thinking in this terms of a job. Partnership. Foundation. This is the other possible 6. Just looking here. Another 6. That wasn't the one I was thinking. 1. 3, 4. But I was thinking of the other 4. I want to see what it says. The 4 of chalices. Did I have that over here? I must have blew right by it. That's not the same 4. Let's see what it is. I need to see what it says. 4 of chalices. Where is it at? That's the spirit of the whole thing. Wait, is that right? Yeah. Parting the waters and moving from one place to another. I must have blown right past it. Did I blow right past it? The Four of Chalices. I haven't shuffled this deck yet, so it should be. Let's look. What was card number 19? I need to find that one too. This is kind of looking at it. There it is. It was there. It's not that one. It's not the Four of Chalices. It's the Four of Candles. That's right. The Four of Candles. Okay. This is probably a wild goose chase. It's not going to go anywhere. Four of Candles. Okay. Alright, let's just one more time. We got all night, right? Four candles. And card 19, which is I actually only looked through this deck once. So four of that could be that card too. Look at the spirits of these. Let's go a little faster here. I want the Four of Candles. Okay, there it is. I found the cards. We're going to look at these. Look at these images. This is like the energy around this. The energy around this whole thing. The Biblical Tarot of 4, 6, and 9. We have the Emperor being a place of command, about being in a sort of a solid footing place. Four candles should have a very similar spirit. Four. That's the 4. We have 6. I pulled out 3 6s. So you might think in terms of an angel number 666. And 4, 6, and 9. Oh yeah, the nine one's over here. 4, 6, 9, and they add up to the Sun. 19 here. A card, a Triumphant, and then from that it reduces down to this Moses card. The energy of 4, 6, 9 overall is governed by these two states of the crossing from one place to another, the beginning of a journey. But it starts first with the Sun, with triumph. So the energy behind this number 469 is of this. This is the energy behind it. But some of the component energies, there's one of this spirit of going out into nature and getting in touch with the ground. getting in touch with the sky, getting in touch with the water, withdrawing into oneself, gathering strength in order to head out onto a new journey. And we have the number 6, that of partnership, that of sharing of knowledge, and that of breaking through walls. But maybe this spirit doesn't exact. That's what this spirit is. Breaking through walls. And then we have the number 4. That of an emperor, and that of a house, entering into a house. Maybe this was just a wild goose chase. It might have been. But I just kind of wanted to see that. Let's just put that aside. The possible outcome. We're just let's see what's on page 469. The number itself is a good number. 469. 19, the sun. 1, a new beginning. So a possible outcome is that you move into a new beginning. 469. Love of God has been poured into our hearts. Continue work in the world through all the hearts who believe. God sends a new spirit. The essential meaning of this is something new is entering into you. Something new is entering into you. So what from a bibliomancy, from 469 on that page, is something new. Something new. Something new is coming your way. That's what I get from this. Something new is coming your way. Ultimately, that's what the message is. Whether it is karta or something else, that remains to be seen. So you build your foundation, and you're going to have a good partner, strong partnership, strong collaboration with others, and to ride that to completion so that you can come into a new beginning. A new beginning. A new beginning. That's from that. But we can do a simple, like a yes, no. Let's do a yes, no. let's just do a yes, no. We'll just end with a yes, no, as if, will Carta result in a job? Will Chinese Disco Babe get a job at Carta? Will she get a job at Carta? 3 cards, yes, no. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling, please. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Looks like it stopped already. Already, that means that looks like a no, but something new is coming your way. Put the jumpers back. Those are the jumpers, but let's just put those aside here. If we were to add the jumpers, the answer to that question is a no, but if I do not have the jumpers, possible outcome, you could start out like a new infatuation, but then you'll get quickly bored and your shadow self fall into temptations from your shadow self. Maybe it's a place that's unethical. I don't know. Devil card. But something new is definitely coming your way. It may not be Carta. The Wheel of Fortune turns. Self-indulgence. Well, okay. And what is the overall numbers of these here? 15 plus 13 plus 1. 15 plus 13. We have this one here. From these cards, it looks like it's probably not a good outcome. That's what the cards kind of sense that. But let's just take a look at the numbers here. But it's because most of your cards were reversed, it means that there's lack of foundation. Lack of stability. That's the energy that I'm getting here. Okay. I think I have the energy to do 2 more readings, okay? So for Chinese Disco Babe, I'm not so sure about this card up, but the other spirit in it says that something new is coming your way. So I don't know if it's this or if it's something else. If that's okay, I hope that that's helpful. 724. I feel like I'm getting really tense right now. Drink water. Okay. You have to let me know. These were good cards, though. Pull them out that way. Okay, so what we got here is there was top G and then there was someone else, right? Is Yushi still present? Oh, Ayushi, yeah. Is Ayushi still present? Are you still present, Ayushi? Okay, you don't think Ayushi is still there? Okay. All right, good night. Then, that means that's twice that I've missed. So, top G. So if you're still here, Yushi, please let me know. I'm getting muscle cramps. Thank you very much, Stoic, for moderating for me today. I'm gonna stand up and stretch a little bit. So top G, unless Yushi speaks up, you're next. Do you want to state your question, please? I need to stretch a little bit here. Having some muscle cramps. Okay, top G. Oh, what? Oh, it's up there. Oh, okay, I'll get it. Career guidance. That's right. She's asked that question twice. I'm just gonna okay. Okay. Wait, I must be going too far back. Let's see if I... Number 4. Oh. Oh. Okay. How many, Top G? Top G, how many numbers do you have in your lottery? Please tell me how many, in your lottery, how many, what's the number range? Please tell me the number range in your lottery. And then we will, I have a lottery card diviner deck. How many, numbers are in your lottery? One to 32. Okay. So you say 1 to 32, right? That's not very many. When can you look it up? Can you look it up for me? While I go looking, I can go do that. Can you look it up, please? Yeah, go look it up, and then I will. I can go up to 32, but it's probably more because it would because lotteries aren't very fair. It's 1 to 36. Okay, I'll add a few more in there. How many numbers am I going to be drawing? Is it like 4? Did you say 4 numbers? Okay. 4 numbers. All right. 4 numbers it is. I like to gamble, man. I got numbers in the lottery. I choose my lottery numbers this way. Not all the time, but a lot of times I do. You want 4 lottery numbers. All right. Okay, play for the day. How many sets of numbers do you want me to draw for you? All right. So let's clear the air. I want to clear the spirits in the air. Spirit down. Top G is seeking 4 lucky numbers ranging between 1 and 36. If it be his fate to win the lottery, please express those numbers right now for him. A win. Of course, he would like to have all 4 numbers, but a win would be getting one number right is a win in my book. It's not the right win, but it's a win. But Spirit, if it be Top G's fate to win this lottery, please guide us to the right 4 numbers ranging between 1 and 36. Four numbers between 1 and 36. One off the bottom. It wants 2 off the bottom. Okay. 2 off the bottom. There's all 4. This is your first batch of 4. 6. 6. 20. 35, 36. 6. 20. 35. 36. Let's redact these numbers down to another set. 6. 02. 08. 09. Okay. Let's try it again. All right, we're going to try it again. So you probably want to play it more than one line. Let's get a good shuffle. A good shuffle here. Okay, that one just fell out. Look, the number 6 came out again. Six and 18. There's too many numbers there jumping out. This one, 29, and one off the bottom, 33. Looks like this number 6 is coming up a lot too. Six, 18, 29, 33. Six, 8, that's going to be down off the bottom here. 6, 18, 29, 33. And if you reduce them down, you're looking at 6, 9, 2, but you can't get 6 twice, so let's try another one. Let's get another batch. Okay. 4 numbers. For entertainment purposes only. There's 2 numbers here. All right. What are we looking at? 4, 24, there he is. There's your number 4. 4, 12, 24, 28. Zero, 4, 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 8. So you got a new beginning, bounded by love, creativity, and foundations. You're going to build a new foundation for yourself. Out of your self, your ability to create, your creativity. And this will produce love or a harmonious relationship and a new beginning so that you can begin again. All right? I hope that's helped. Thank you very much. This was a fun reading. I didn't think that I would get a chance to pull out my lottery card numbers, but I'm going to save these off like this. You'll have to let me know if you at the very least win a free ticket, or if you get one number right. Please let me know. The most, Top G, the most I'd ever gotten when I drawn lottery numbers this way is I've gotten free tickets. So 3 out of 6 numbers is the best I've ever gotten using these cards to for drawing lottery numbers. Yeah. All right, now I know that Ayushi is not here. This was fun. I have to say that. That's not the third month. Why do I think it's the third month? I started this channel in the third month. This is 7. Started this reading on the 24th. Okay. All right. Though Ayushi's not here. She's asking for career guidance. I'm going to read for Ayushi. Let's clear the air. And then this will be our last reading here. So Ayushi seeks career guidance. What direction? What direction? What type of job type would be best for Ayushi? What job type would be best? We're not using this deck here today. I'm going to put some of the things away because they're spitting out all over the place. This one might be okay. I think I might start there. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I will do that. I will do that. Where's the book? We're going to start with a page number. A page number to gain a general spirit of what what will work better. So what will work best for Yushi? What will work best? What area should Yushi look into for career? Six. Nope. Come back over here. 8. What? Career guidance. 9. So something that's challenging. That gives you freedom. Freedom to be yourself. And will change you. Will be transformative. So you're looking at, let me just clip this thing here for you. So you see what we have just from the numerology, that we're looking at, you need to find a job that's challenging, that will give you greater freedom in your life, and will be a transformative experience for you. So you're looking at something that's not going to be boring. So 689, let's go look up page 689 and see what we get. So we can find something there. I'm clipping this for you. 689. And the third Sunday in ordinary time. Okay, so let's see. Let me read this. I tell you, brothers and sisters, time is short. From now on, those with wives should live as though they had none. Those who weep should live as though they were not weeping. Those who rejoice as though they were not rejoicing. Buyers should conduct themselves as though they own nothing. Those who make use of the world as though they were not using it, for the world as we know it is past. So I'm seeing buying and selling. So one of the things that I see here is buying and selling. So you might consider a sales job. A sales job. Buying and selling. Making deals. So a sales job, making deals, or working in finance. So so making deals, or banking, like accounting. So what we're getting from here, from page 689, is you should consider a career that may be around sales. So you're looking at something that will something that will accent your ability to create partnerships with others, and that you can manifest your dreams into reality and come into a place of completion. And these numbers add up to number 5, which is about change, challenge, and freedom, or challenging. So this would be a challenging career, buying and selling, sales. You have to get to know products. You have to do product knowledge. You have to continually learn and continually transform yourself. You have to use your skills, people skills. You have to use these skills, the people skills, in order to sell products, make deals, making deals, bridges, building bridges with between people. That's kind of what I see here. This is what Spirit has directed me to. A buying and selling, that's a possibility to look into. Sales. Sales is one thing, but the other thing is finance. Finance is also it's similar to sales, banking and finance. It does require sales, buying and selling money, finance, banking. But then there's also a sense of accounting, because accounting is also a part of that. So if you have a degree in accounting, then you do have to make deals, and you have to account for things. But that page, what popped out was this of making deals, buying and selling, sales and finance. Sales and finance. And so that's what I got for you. I hope that helps. And sales would definitely, as a career, sales would definitely especially if it has high commissions, sales would allow you to have personal freedom, and it will be challenging because it'll require you to change something from one state to another. So in a sense, essentially here, what you are, what if you are doing sales, you are going to be, you're going to be utilizing this skill here of the Temperance card, the changing of one thing to another, the alchemy, this changing something from this state to another. You pour this thing into that, and it becomes a new thing. You're standing on land, and you're standing on water, and the sun is shining behind you. All right, I hope that helps. Anyway, I'm going to close out tonight's reading. It is 2:30 in the morning, I think, for me. 2:30 in the morning. And I appreciate everybody for being here, for everybody for pushing the like and sub button, hanging out, for Stoic, for Top G for giving me a fun question, for Top G, for Chinese Disco Bay, for Random AF, for Angie, and for Oyushi. Thank you very much. And thank everyone else who is lurking in. For Sherry, for popping in again. For List, for being funny. Thank you for being here. And we'll be back later today to do it all again. Blessings and peace to you. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.